You want to go over the site builder?
Let's do it.
Do it. Let me open some pieces here. Okay. So you can see this, right?
Yep.
Now, the actual generation of a WordPress website is actually not that difficult. And it's basically over here, and it can be skinned under any brand. So you'll see before under the idea of this dashboard where we're a super admin, there's this real estate brand, there's Blitzmetrics, there's this AI brand, the Jake Paul thing, right? So when Jake Paul and I say, hey, do you have a website for yourself? Yes or no? Oh, no, you don't. Well, then here, let's build one together real quick, right? And then like, who are you? Who are you? Let's upload some pictures, blah, blah, blah. Then generate a dashboard on the back end, right? So we can do this website generator. And the reason why we don't have a name for it is because we want to put the website generation as part of a package under any figurehead, right? And pretty much everything we want to do is in a co-branded kind of way where we're doing it under that lighthouse. Not a white label, but as a co-brand, right? So when you're a super admin, which is only us, so this interface is ugly because it's only meant for admins. No user would ever see this. We can bulk import a whole bunch of websites at the same time by pulling in a file, because maybe there's an API or so some programmatic way where we get these things, or we can just go ahead and manually do a new site. And there's a couple ways to do the site. One is that we enter what's called a fully qualified domain, which is we buy a domain on GoDaddy, dylan-haugen.com. And then if you buy a domain, then that domain has to have the DNS records pointed to us as the host, because the management of the domain is different than the hosting of the domain, which is like no one seems to understand this, right? Because you could buy most people buy their website from or buy the domain on GoDaddy, but then just because you own the domain doesn't mean there's a website that's living there. It has to be, you have to rent space somewhere to put the website on your server or someone else's server. In this case, we come in here, enter which brand we want to put it under, or it automatically comes in. If they came in under that dashboard, it would build a site under that brand. It could be if they're under like lawn care heroes or whatever, and we create a website for lawn care people, then we'd use the lawn care template, right? And then we enter that name, whatever it might be. I think the title and these other things can be just like whatever. It can be the client, it can be us if we're building it for them. And then the theme can be is kind of like what's the skin? And we can create lots of different themes, like create an agency theme, create a basketball theme, create a whatever theme. And then when we hit submit, then the system goes and generates a full WordPress website, not WordPress multi-user, which is like many little sites on one main framework, but an actual separate standalone WordPress instance, which is why each of these has separate WordPress credentials here, right? So if we take Apollo artifacts or whatnot, here is the login for that website. So the end user would be emailed this and say, ta-da, we finished building the website and this is what you log in as, right? And it system auto generates a password. Then when you log in as an admin to that site, you can then create other users. So if we create something under Sam McLeod here, because I'm super admin, I can look at everyone's website, right? This is the login for admin, which is the first way you enter the website. And when you enter the website, is it sammcloud.net? So I can come here. There's nothing here, right? All these sites, all WordPress sites are under slash WP admin, right? Which we should probably put in the super admin. Not that it really should be necessary. I mean, if you're in the super admin, you better know what that means anyway. If you don't understand like what this thing is. So where's this? Where's the one I just had? This one here. So where's the password? Username or email. So I'm logging in as a super admin, which then allows me to manage this separate WordPress instance. And then we have all the standard things that we can do here where we talked about pages and posts, right, on office hours yesterday. And
Yep.
right now there's nothing here. It's just very plain. right? Spam comments are always coming in, right? There's pretty much spam all these ones. You can pretty much tell right away. A lot of VAs don't know how to tell whether it's spam or not, which means they're not qualified to touch anything. We've built our own plugin, and there's other plugins that we want to have for personal brand sites, just like a combo of plugins, like we talked about with the WP Engine folks for business websites. And by having these default things like Google Analytics and social media plugins, whatnot, then we'll be able to have basic information in the dashboard, which we don't have automated yet. But the idea is that if they if they have a dashboard, then we'll be able to see all their different stats associated with that, right? And I don't think we have this one working right now. This goes back to the sites. Maybe it's under here. But if we set up, let's say you set up a new landscaping company, right? Or a new dentist or a new whatever, then we want to make sure, of course, we get all the access that comes in. Because we got to verify that we've got their folder videos, that we've got digital plumbing in place, we have access to their call tracking, some basic onboarding things like we talked about a couple of weeks ago, like there's onboarding if you want to build a personal brand website. Okay, well, who are you and what are you good at and what do you want to do and do you have some videos and all that? So we have the necessary ingredients to be able to populate the website, right? And then by adding this other information, these various IDs, then the system can make sure that we're collecting all the data associated with that because we do something that no one else in the industry, as I know, does, which is when we've specified the Facebook and the YouTube and the Google Analytics and all these other pieces, we're then using an OAuth token to grab insights. So when the thing prompts you and says, this app was not built by Facebook, but would like to have access to, or click here to authorize access to whatever, that's getting analytics or insights access or ads management permissions. And so when we grab all these things here, then it builds a dashboard which will replace what we're doing in the first part of the weekly MAA. So that's something I've never seen anyone do. I think that's hugely valuable. I think we could charge 30 bucks a month for the ability to build a systematic dashboard that has all their data and then provide recommendations based on that data using pumping their data through ChatGPT and then using what we call our quick audit process to make recommendations, which then workers, human workers at first are doing the implementation, and then robot workers are then repurposing videos and doing all that kind of stuff. So if they're coming in as a business, then they would have their personal brand website. They would give us access to their business website, like we talked about a few minutes ago. I think, Dylan, you weren't on that call, but it was with our WP Engine guy, and we were talking about transferring websites and why we're
Yeah.
using WP Engine and that whole kind of thing. So yeah, pretty much all these businesses should have two websites, personal brand website for them, because it's always going to be, there's always a leader of every company, their face of that the plumber or chiropractor. There's always the main guy, right? And then there's the business website. If you're coming in as a young adult and you're in school, you're an athlete, you maybe want to start an agency or whatever it is, then you're just going to have a personal brand website. And so we're just working on making this thing a little easier to use, a little more powerful so that, it's not as clunky as it is right now. I mean, there's lots of things we can do to make this thing a lot easier. Like, for example, for David Meerman Scott, the DNS hasn't been pointed yet. So the system's still waiting, right? It can't do anything because there's no DNS pointed, right? We gave it to him. We said, point the DNS here, and he hasn't done it. So when you go to this site here, it's still the old thing. And by the end of the month, it's going to expire. And David and I talked about we better get this thing done because if we don't get it done with enough time to test it, then we lose everything, that kind of thing, right? I talked to him like 2 hours ago. So now that these are working, they're active, we can build out Jeremy Parker's podcast and this website. And he even bought the .com. He had the Jeremy G. Barker, and then he paid some money to actually, because he can do that. If you have enough money, you can buy whatever you want. He bought the jeremybarker.com. So we're going to point this to the jeremybarker.com and build this thing out, right? And we don't need permission from any of these people to do any of these things because now we have control of the site, right? And like we were talking about with WordPress, kind of like an introduction to WordPress, right now there's all users, I think it's just admin. They're just admin. Well, if you look at sammacloud.net, the only what there's two posts there, and they're both under admin is the author. You don't want admin as an author. That doesn't make any sense, right? Like we made this post together a week ago or so, right? Remember?
Yep.
Took us a couple minutes, right? You recorded 1 minute video. We embedded that. We put it on YouTube, embedded the YouTube inside this post, chose a couple tags, Whiskey Gap, Toby McLeod, and this is default WordPress. I'm logged because I'm logged into WordPress. It has this bar here at the top, and I don't want to give a whole tour of like what is WordPress, but it's under entrepreneurship and it's by admin. Well, admin doesn't help because it needs to be written by Sam McLeod, a person. Any author needs to be a person, not by admin. I can't tell you how many WordPress websites have admin. And then this page is called this title instead of Whiskey Gap is question mark P equals 11, which means this is the 11th page on the website. Well, that's not a very helpful title, right? And then this thing has no SEO data against it. It has a domain rating of 0.3 from what? Who the heck is even linking to it? Are we linking to it yet? I didn't think we even linked to it yet. Oh, who's Karen Zach?
No idea.
Karen Zach, Q&A with Sam McLeod. What?
Not a clue. That could be.
Different one.
Yeah.
This is spam.
Really?
Because it's actually linking to sammcloud.net, unless it's like this person
That's
accidentally
funny.
linked to you, because they're linking to you, but maybe they're thinking it's another Sam
Possible.
McLeod.
I think it might be a different one because I have no idea who that is.
This looks like a auto-generated Sam McLeod has rarely met a meal he didn't like.
That's true. Actually, it's
McLeod,
not.
Might be you.
Sam met his bride at UVA.
Nope.
Married 35 years? Really? Wow, that's time flies.
2 weeks or a week, not even a week.
This is a real website. I think they accidentally. Oh shoot, this is actually a real website. They just linked to the wrong Sam McLeod. That's hilarious.
No way.
Wow. God is grace, God is good. Whoever Karen is. Because sometimes you see these sites like here you have two spam sites.
Yeah.
So what spam sites will do, especially if they're trying to sell links, is they'll link to you from a spam site. These are all zeros. And they use the link because they know people are using tools like this. They'll say like, hey, you can increase your domain authority and buy links from us, right? So they intentionally put a link here so you can see it. But they carry no weight and they're categorized as spam, obviously, right?
Right.
Yeah. But you actually got one real link. How random is that?
Cool.
Because there's so many Sam McLeods.
I guess. Yeah. I didn't know there was that many.
Yeah. So somehow Karen must have a friend named Sam McLeod. Neat. But anyway, we can grab, we're working on using the different APIs. There's different tools that allow you can basically buy API data in bulk, and we can take data that's kind of like this, not Ahrefs data. I asked them, they wouldn't do it because they consider we're building a competitive tool. But imagine we grab the keywords they rank on and how their pages are doing and all that, and then we have it in the dashboard, and then we're able to make recommendations based on that and what kind of content they should have and what they're ranking on. Basically, location service things like we talked about yesterday. And so I can see us being very helpful on that. And you rank in position
That's
90 on
funny.
Sam McLeod. Interesting. You're on the 10th
I
page.
don't even I don't even rank on my own name yet. That's funny that yours already does.
You didn't rank on your own name. That's crazy.
And you have a
I've
knowledge
got
panel on it
I've
too.
got a decent amount of stuff on there too, but I'm not even
How do
5A
you rank on
either.
anything because you don't have enough links coming in,
Probably.
not enough content. I
Yeah.
think you don't have enough content, right? You
I've
don't have
posted like
content
probably
in.
25-ish blog posts or maybe
That
20
hasn't
now.
been indexed yet. Yeah, I mean, when we look inside Search Console,
I did do some sort of like ChatGPT audit one time and it was telling me I needed to like index on Search Console, but I just never got around to it because there's more
I,
important stuff.
I don't worry about that. I mean, you could do the URL submission thing, but it doesn't matter. Let's see. Let's go to, we gotta go to another one. Let's go to this one. Add Astra. Sure. So Search Console, which is not Google Analytics, but there's some Search Console data in Google Analytics. This is when people are doing searches. And we're going to get web clicks on our own name. So this is a power washing company in Kansas City. And what a surprise. homepage, about us. And when you look at these queries, people don't understand that this is when you're showing up in search, but they're not necessarily clicking on it. So you'll see some stuff where you'll see like a lot of, why aren't they showing it under performance? Should show the number of impressions and the number of clicks. So this is Google Analytics doesn't show how many times you show up. See here, impressions. So there's people that are searching for, let's just sort by impressions descending, deck ceiling Overland Park. So we've shown up 1,000 times according to Google, but we've gotten no clicks out of it. So why is it? Because the position's too low, because it was only in a certain feature, because our stuff wasn't compelling enough, or because like this is actually promising, right? Pressure washing, roof cleaning. So none of these people came to our site, so we'd never see it in Google Analytics, but we would see it here in Search Console. Yeah. So we can use our tools using ChatGPT or using our own crawlers to look at the websites to find where there are problems. There's tools that are built into WP Engine and whatnot to just make sure the websites are working and they're loading fast, and you can put in any URL you want. You can see like some pages are indexed versus not. Why is that? Sometimes you don't want this stuff. Usually you do, or you see 404s, or you can see there's no videos index. Like that's a problem. So there's just a lot of stuff that you can see here. We'll have manual actions. Like if we get a penalty, Google will show a penalty here. We should not have any, right? No issues here, right?
What would the penalty come from?
Oh, catching you doing something spammy.
Oh, okay.
We don't do. So that we should never, ever see either of these two things or a lack of an SSL certificate. We automatically provision SSL certificates, which is important. Every website needs to have site-wide SSL, like to secure lock, right? But yeah, like for example here, create a new site, create the admin user, and then we got to immediately create a Sam McLeod user because you don't want to ever log in under admin except if it's an emergency to recover the site, right?
All right.
So you add a new user. So you understand the whole WordPress thing, right?
Yep.
So imagine we're pulling in the stats. So what are we looking for? Well, what's getting the most traffic? What keywords are they ranking on? Is it changing over time, right? So if we look at not this girl's site, but you know, Bloomington landscape. There's Anthony, and we see that we're getting more business off of some of these keywords, right? We're moving up and down based on seasonality. People are planting flowers, whatever the time of year it is, this kind of thing, right? Then we can create notifications against this and say our emergency tree removal service is really good because that's an emergency and people pay it's worth $500 a time, whatever the number is. We can say, hey, we need to create content, or we can say you haven't made any content in the last week. Or we noticed whatever it is, MAA, right? Automatic MAA. We noticed something about the data. We noticed you had more phone calls. We noticed that you got no reviews in the last week. You should try to get more reviews, right? So the more data we can centralize in the dashboard, the more recommendations that we can make. And ultimately, that's what we want to do across these here, whether it's the personal brand websites or the business websites, is have proactive monitoring on how that business is doing instead of relying upon someone every Friday to try to scan through the site to figure out what's going on and quickly throw together some nonsense report. So you can see we're not trying to build a website for the sake of building a website. It's a way so we can centralize the gathering of data and monitor the creation and optimization of existing content.
Yeah, that makes sense. I
Yeah.
follow that. Let's do that.
And so you configure clients, configure these different dashboards. There's different scores. I think we're using page speed insights. There's other things we can score in here. But you see the basic framework that we have here, right? It's clunky. It's not beautiful. It doesn't have all the features, but it's good enough for now. It's better than what anyone else has. No one's even doing stuff like this, if you can imagine.
Yep.
So that's that. I mean, happy to answer whatever it is or, on the site builder.
For the most part, it makes sense to me. I don't know if you have anything, Dylan, but
Yeah, I mean, the structure of it and actually generating sites and what we do with sites makes sense to me. Mainly just thinking about, I know we're talking about actually launching it and selling some sort of package along with it. So kind of just where are we at with that? And then what can I or Sam do to accelerate that.
Well, think of it this way. I've made a couple posts saying, hey, you want to rank on your name? Having a personal brand site will actually help you get a knowledge panel for all these different reasons, right? And then a lot of
Yeah.
education. And you saw I made a couple of videos for our marketing mechanic whiteboard stuff, right?
Yep.
To educate people. And a lot of that's going to drive them towards getting an audit and getting a personal brand website for all the reasons that I teach in those videos.
Yeah.
And for someone to say, what, $1 a day to have a personal brand website, that's actually worth it. Because if I were to have to go out there and get my own hosting and try to figure out how to configure all of it and buy all these different tools and make sure it's done right, and then I got to hire someone to do all that stuff, and I don't even know if they're doing it right. Someone will probably charge me a couple $1,000s to do all of that, right? And I don't even know if it's even going to work. Not to say like our $1 a day website would somehow replace an agency, but at least it will replace the website portion of it, right? So on a personal brand site, not on a business site, if we explain, hey, your personal brand is your name on the internet. That's more important than your LinkedIn profile or your resume. Because people, if it's important when people Google you for you to show up among the other Sam McLeods or other Dylan Haugens, and you understand that this is not you buy the tool and all of a sudden you're ranking and making all this money. Like that's not the promise. Like if you sign up for a gym membership, we're not promising six-pack abs. You still have to go to the gym. You still have to do, we're giving you a gym membership. You can come to the gym and use the gym. But if you don't come to the gym and you complain, that's your fault, right? So is it worth $30 a month to use our platform? Yeah, if you actually use it. Is it the most
Yeah.
beautiful looking website creator? No, this is not about design aesthetics and choose the kind of like design you want for the wedding and choose this customized wedding dress and ring. And like that's not what this is. This is the underlying infrastructure of your personal brand. So if you sign up for our thing at $30 a month, we're going to guide you through the exact process to do it correctly, to understand who you are, where you add value, how you differentiate, how you like the Ikigai, that thing that we've talked about in the last one. And we talked about the 10 steps, Sam. We lost the Zoom call, but you remember the 10 steps we walked through, right? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So we can create a sequence. It can be 10 separate emails, or it can be like 10 separate little videos. Hey, Dylan Haugen here again. Now we're on to step two. And then step two, we're going to do blah, 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 blah. Do that. And then click on the next button. We'll go to step three. Right? And they click on the button. Oh, you click on the button. That means you're ready for step three. Okay, well, step three, we're going to do blah, 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 blah. Go to ChatGPT and do this. And then we're going to complete step three. Okay. Oh, awesome. Now we're at step four. And, the reason why we're doing step four is because we did, one, two, and three to get to step four. And then the reason we're doing step four is it's going to set us up for step five. And once we have these steps done, then you'll have all the necessary ingredients to load up your website, right? Oh, great, congratulations. You've done these necessary 10 steps. Now come over here, click here and click here and click here, add new post, go in here, change the background image, go ahead and add these tags, go ahead and across make sure you already have your Facebook and your YouTube and your Twitter and all that. Now go over here and add in your Facebook link, add in links to those, right? Now go to your Facebook and add in the link to your personal brand website. That way it's connected both ways, right?
Mhm.
Now go to your Google Analytics. Oh, you don't have Google Analytics. Okay, we'll go to google.com/analytics and then create an account and then click here and click here and click here, grab that analytics tag and then come over into your website, which is WordPress, and go over here and drop in that tag here. And now you've got analytics on your website. Now, come back here every couple of weeks and we'll see what your data looks like. But, you can also see it in your dashboard too, because the more things you have, the more data you're going to see in the dashboard. We're going to send you alerts along the way. Congratulations on building your website, blah, 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 blah. So 90% of it is us kind of guiding them through these if-then statements along the way.
Yeah.
Only 10% of it is the stuff I just showed you, which is our software, generates this stuff and collects data and sends out alerts and monitors it and makes sure that their stuff is secure and make sure the pages load fast. And remember, Sam, that the WP Engine guy walked through all the stuff that they do, right?
Yeah, lots, loads.
Which they don't need to understand, but if they just see the diagram, like this is what premium hosting is. This is what we're providing you. You don't need to understand it. Just know your stuff is secure. Just know your stuff loads fast. Know that people can't break into your stuff and we have protection against it. Know that we're not doing some rinky-dink $7 a month hosting in Pakistan. This is
Yeah,
premium hosting.
The tricky thing that I see with it, like for people, is people always want their website to look good and be pretty and things like that. And so it's really tricky, like getting them to shift their mindset. At least I feel like it could be. I
You
actually
tell them this is not MySpace, okay? You know why MySpace went down and Facebook went up?
no idea. Facebook worked. I don't know.
Because MySpace was all about editing the layout of your profile and designing it and the color of the background. Like when you're on Facebook, when you're on TikTok, when you're on Instagram, do you get to like do all this custom design of your profile? No, everyone gets the same thing.
Yeah, the content is
Yeah, it
what
doesn't
you
like
can do.
changing the font of your logo. I mean, there's like none of that design stuff. And so we're trying to say the same thing is true. What makes your personal brand website stand out is the content you put in, not the decorations on the outside.
Yeah, and I think also like the type of people who are super, interested in design and stuff like that aren't necessarily generally the people who are going to be looking to like put up a personal brand website like right away. Like I know a ton of my friends that are like, trying to build personal brands and stuff like that that would just throw up anything that, has a domain basically. Like they just want to get it out there, but they just don't know how to do it. And they're not willing to go out and spend, like Dennis said, the thousands of dollars and the hundreds of hours to figure that out. And so I think $30 a month is very reasonable.
Yeah.
And it's enough to actually like be a good amount of money for us. And at the same time, nobody can really say it's expensive because once again, it's $1 a day. So
Yeah, but it depends because if some people at 30 bucks a month, they're going to complain 5 times a day and call in and all that kind
it's
of stuff.
true. Yeah.
So I think the key is that when we put it out there, you guys and me too, make these videos explaining, hey, why do you want a personal brand website? If it's aesthetics or we're like, no, this is not what it is for you. If it's I'm investing in my reputation or I know eventually this is going to be important for me, then
Yeah.
yes. If it's like, okay, if I put a personal brand site up, I'm all of a sudden going to get 100,000 followers and be famous and make all this money. Like, this is not for you. But you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like qualifying expectations. So
Yeah. Filter out those people right away and that'll be,
yeah. So if
yeah.
they say any of those things, we say, I'm sorry, this is not for you. You're going to be unhappy. You're going to cancel after a month or two. We're going to have to refund you. Like we don't want that. So we're basically
Mhm.
we'll have all these warnings saying like, if you're any one of these things, do not sign up for this. So we're
Yeah.
not trying to encourage people to sign up and sell them. We're trying to discourage people from coming onto our thing, right?
Mhm.
If you're an entrepreneur and you understand your business is important, if you understand that your reputation is important, if you understand people are going to look up your name before they hire you or before then this is important for you, right? If you understand this is a longer term thing where you have to create the content and it's not magic, where you understand this is not custom designing how it looks and it's not a web designer, what is the architecture, the guts of your, not guts, that's not a good analogy, but this is the framework of your brand. We're assembling these items. This is not, you get to talk to Dennis and Dylan on the phone anytime that's not what this is, not consulting,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. As for refunds and stuff like that, I know you mentioned that. What would be kind of like policy? Because I feel like there would be no real reason to
There's
ever
no,
refund
as long
anyone.
as we're clear, right? And we could even
Yeah.
put huge letters, no refunds, because this is a month-to-month service.
Yeah.
Like if you sign up for a gym membership, in January, everyone decides they want to lose weight and all that, right? And
Yeah.
you sign up at the gym and you make this commitment, you're going to wake up every morning at 5 o'clock and go work out, right? And do the cold plunge and all that shit. And then 2 weeks in, you end up flaking out. And then by March comes around, like, okay, I need to cancel my gym membership. Okay, that's cool. You're canceled as of whatever. Well, I want a refund. Well, you did come to the gym for the first few days, but you did not come to the gym in February and March. Is that our fault?
Yeah.
The gym was open. The equipment was all there. You didn't come. Yeah, but I'm not famous now and I just need the money back because I didn't get ROI. No, we
That's
made it
not
very
how that
clear.
works.
This
Yeah.
is what you get in the gym. In the gym, you get access. You can use the equipment, but we're not going to lift the weights for you. Okay.
Mhm.
And here's the
Yeah.
equipment that we have in the gym. This gym doesn't have a rock climbing wall, but I want a rock climbing wall. We told you what's in this gym. This is what we have. It's very basic equipment. Okay. There's no
Yep.
towels and it's not Lifetime Fitness with all the steam rooms and like that. That's a different kind of gym. That's not the kind of thing we do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. That's good.
Yeah, but you guys have to put that out there because people will still, even if we put it there, people will still blow past it and click sign up and pay and then get all mad and refund. Even if you think it's clear, it's never clear enough. I promise you that. And
Makes
you
sense. Yeah.
what you and this is what happens with SaaS, right? A lot of entrepreneurs are like, oh, I made it very clear, and we get 1,000 people signing up the first month. So now we made $30,000 this month, right? But then like half of them want a refund, right? Like we have to prepare for, we're not going to let that happen because we're going to put all these things along the way where, like, before they can check out, we'll say, okay, just confirming, are you sure you understand this, and this? Okay, yes, I
Yeah.
understand. Now you can sign up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. That makes
And
sense.
like I kind of would like to have before they could even sign up, the video pops up. Hey, Dylan here. I'm so glad you're here. You want to build your personal brand. We talked about what this is and what this isn't, but just to make sure, the reason you're here is that you understand it's this, and this, and you're going to do this, and it's not consulting, and it's not design it all beautiful and whatever it is, and blah blah blah. You understand that this is the case, right? If you understand, then proceed. If not, please do not sign up. Like, boop. Hey, Dylan, I'm Dylan here, just making sure, we want to make
Yep.
sure you make the right decision because we want you to be with us for the long term. And
Yeah.
believe me, $1 a day is not like how we're making. It's not like, oh, I need so and so's dollar a day. Like it's gonna make or break me. No, it's the reason why this works is you can even explain it. When you're building your brand over time, right? You're committing to investing in your brand and your reputation. We're not locking you into a multi-year contract, but we do understand that like getting six-pack abs is not a 3-week thing. Okay. You're
Yep.
committing to put in time. So if anything, it's not on us creating things for them, or us having to do things for them. What you're asking at that last step or along the way is you are committing to yourself. You are committing that you're going to put at least an hour a week to get content, to make content, to collect it, or whatever it is. Or someone else, you're the entrepreneur, you get someone else to do that. And if you agree, and some weeks you're busy or you're on vacation for 2 weeks, okay, I get it, I get it. But it's just like if you can make a commitment to your fitness, same thing. You're making a commitment to your personal brand. If you're willing to do that,
Yep.
then we're happy to work
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah. So what needs to happen on our end before we can actually launch it? Because obviously the content need to get that done.
Yeah.
But I think that'll be generally the easy part. I think it's kind of the
Okay.
actual launching of it that I don't
I
entirely
think
understand.
you can make those videos now. They don't have to be beautiful. And then we load it up into spp.co and we could have it ready today.
What's that?
We start collecting money today.
No, sorry, I meant what is SPP.co
SPP
or
is our
whatever?
two-sided network that we white label while we're building our own that
Okay.
allows us to manage these things. So, so let me just go there. Where is it? Hang a second here. Where's the workspace? No. Where is it? Hang on a minute. I'm gonna find this thing. Oh, it's clients.yourcontent. Okay, that's why it's silly me. Okay. Let me share my screen. So there's so many tools. Isn't it crazy how many tools there are? Okay. So this is a white label, meaning we're using someone else's software, but pretending it's ours. And you can log in as me or whoever. And so what happens is that you have these productized services. So we have a whole lot of these here that it's kind of like a test, right? So for example, we say you can do premium hosting with us for $250 a month, which is what that guy we were talking to earlier was talking about reselling, right? And here's what it is, right? Ensure your website runs really well and it's a recurring price. We can, of course, configure how the price is done, have different levels, have a setup thing, and we just say it's 250 a month, right? And it just continues to charge like this. So the idea of a productized service is it's like a retainer, like an agency retainer, but instead of it being like consulting or like doing something different every time, the idea of a productized service is it's the same thing. You're paying for it like a product, but really it's a service, right? Like hosting. Like ideally, no one has to do anything because the website's working, right? And so we have a few people on this one, for example, and someone just made an order, or a few people have made an order for this quick audit for $297, right? And here it is. Here's the order. Get your thing audited. You saw our quick audit page, right? Hey, your
Yep.
website, your local business, you want to see what's going on, click on the
Yeah.
link, we'll audit your thing, right? And so with the two-sided network, which is like an Uber of, we're the Uber of marketing services, meaning you have supply and demand, meaning that there's riders that order the service and there's drivers that do the work, right? That's a two-sided
Yep.
network. So here, someone's ordered the service, they paid $297 through Stripe, which is what ties to bank accounts. And this was created August 12th. And then what this does is this then kicks off other jobs to have to happen. So when someone who wants a rider summons an Uber, they want to go to the airport, then it is Uber will take the money and then assign it to whoever to go, okay, now Sam, go pick up this guy and take him to the airport, right? So this thing can assign it to people in these different queues, different workers that are qualified to take that particular task, right? So in the setting up of a new order, there can be like an onboarding process, like this access checklist, which we can reuse for any of these particular services. And there can be things that are on the worker side to be able to get the work done. So when someone comes in and buys this quick audit, it then kicks off the intake form and it kicks off basically getting access and then making sure we understand their goals, content, and targeting. So it sends out emails saying, oh, congratulations for signing up for this thing here. Now it's time to collect your goals, content, and targeting. And once you do that, we're going to schedule a time. Our team's going to do analysis and then we'll schedule time to go over it in a Zoom call, right?
Yeah.
So these orders, like this guy's on, he's been on our premium hosting for $250 for the last however many months, 7, 8 months. Yeah, so we have these tasks that are associated. So when an order happens, you can have one or multiple tasks that have to happen to fulfill the order. Unlike an Uber where you take the guy to the airport and then it's done. But we can have sequential, lots of things that need to happen. And in this case, we have to show that we did the thing. We get access, we create this little report, which the AI can do once we make it agentic, review it to make sure it looks good, have the meeting, right? And then, of course, that can lead to a retainer or lead to some future work, because the whole point of an audit is to find things that are wrong and then they can sign up for stuff with us, other products that are inside this system, right? Because maybe their digital plumbing is broken. So then they can come in here and they can buy digital plumbing. So we just messed around with these. We really should only have like 3 or 4 things in here, but we messed around here to see where's our digital plumbing.
And I think I saw it near the bottom.
Yeah, okay.
Local
Digital
business.
plumbing for local business. Okay. So here on the landing page, we show here's what happens with it. It's $500 one time because it's not recurring. We can make the landing page nicer. I think we can,
Where are the landing pages?
let's see, where's the page? How do I view the page?
Are they on blitzmetrics.com or are they on something else?
No, they're on. Well, let's just go to one. Let's go to quick audit. Okay.
One sec,
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, there it is. It's a pretty lame looking landing page, but people buy. And we can make this nicer, of course. We can make it like a real
Mm.
landing page where people actually, it says like, I don't know why it looks like that. Why is that so ugly? Who knows? Not exactly beautiful, but maybe it's under, can we view the page here? Get payment link. What's this? I don't know. Why doesn't it show the page? I guess I would ask their support. Hey, I always see this. Seems kind of obvious. Payment link? Maybe it's this. Let's see. No. See, a lot of people assume I'm some kind of expert with everything, like I know everything. I literally don't. I just mess around, just like all of us. We just mess around and learn how to use these things, right?
Yeah.
Like there's so
Yeah.
many
Speaking of
tools.
which, and since Sam is gone, I should probably just show you this now.
Yeah.
Let me go real quick. Send Henry the let's see over something. But basically, this is the WordPress editor
Okay.
on the Flags website, and it is like super difficult to use for like buttons and stuff like that. So I basically had to like teach myself how to do this using ChatGPT for this new
Yeah.
landing page we're working on.
Yeah.
And I got like 99, like it's literally done.
Mm,
Basically, this is basically what Daniel asked for.
mhm.
Except now, because I was like adjusting the formatting and stuff, buttons don't freaking work. So
Ah, shit. This is where you go to ChatGPT and have to grind through the last
Oh,
2%.
this I've already
It's
spent
always the
like
case
four
when you build
hours on
stuff.
this stupid thing. I've already
I'm
spent
telling
probably
you,
four hours on this.
for the
It's
last 30 something
ridiculous.
years, anyone who's built stuff can tell you the last 2% is always the headache of little bugs. And
Literally. I feel like I've been 99% done for like 2 hours at this point. But
no, I like just get, I hate to be like a downer, but just get used to the idea that this is what happens when you build.
yeah, yeah. Is there are buttons and stuff like that easier to do within like the WordPress editor that we have attached to
Well, the
blitzmetrics.com,
beauty
your
is where
website, or is
if you have templates, you just copy the template and then you have to like build new pages, right?
yeah, that's basically what I did. It's kind of dumb, but at least I semi understand
That's why
whatever the
like we
heck is
want to have
going on
like
here.
literally the whole website should be a template and then each of the pages should be
Yeah,
a template. Everything like there's no difference between a dentist and a landscaper. Like they're all the same thing. You just swap out their specific stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's always something with the Flax website. It has been annoying to use, but
It's because we took over someone else's crappy website and we're trying to fix from them instead of starting from our template.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's all good. Yeah, yeah. So I gotta fix that, but hopefully that'll work better than the current landing page we have for the veneers because that's kind of what or no, that's what we've been running ads on. So or what Daniel's been running ads on.
Well, let's let's scale up our productized services and then use that money. We can make our decisions every month in a financial meeting to buy stuff or distribute whatever.
Sure. Works great. I'm working on taking everything from the old personal brand site, and then right now I just have it's all on a Google Doc I'm working on, just so it's like coordinated, and
Mhm.
then we can I can send it out, and then we can work on making those videos so it's all cohesive.
You
So
guys call the shots. I'm just tech support.
okay, well I'll make it all look decent, or have all the information there, Dylan, and then we can go through it and we can figure out what videos we want to make so people know what they have to do and make it simple. So it's just step by step.
So you
Let's
could
do it. Yeah.
show, and you still should have some videos, just kind of like the document. Here's what the different sites look like, and here are the features, and it's great hosting, it's secure, it's blah blah blah. But I think more of it should be focused on what's the benefit of the person. Like, why do you want this? Well, part of it is
Yeah.
you want to get a knowledge panel, but we don't guarantee that, right? But this is one key part that will help you. If you create content, if it's authoritative, if it gets traction, structured in our system, you'll get a knowledge panel. You'll be able to be more visible. You'll get more business. You'll be, whatever, get more followers, right? But
Yep.
I feel like you guys both know how to talk about that. And then the
Yep.
configuration, the setting up the websites can be done initially just manually. It's not hard to do because then we just pretend we're a background process running, except it's a human background process for now that sends them the thing saying, "Oh, here's your website." But then when they get the website, then you have to send them an email that says, "Hey, you got your website. Here's what to do." Otherwise, it's like, "Oh, what do I do now? I don't know what WordPress is. How do I log in?" Like Sam, I did that for you. I was your VA, but we could have pre-made these videos along the way, so we preempt them getting stuck and not knowing what to do and that kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah,
Perfect.
sounds good.
I think the biggest thing is just anticipate where support issues are going to be and then preempt that by making little videos and sending them in advance of before they would, they're going to complain or get lost or whatever, right?
I agree.
Yeah.
Where do we want these videos posted?
Just post them as on YouTube. And then we just put the YouTube
Yeah,
video inside put it
I
on a
mainly
URL
meant
and then share that. It have the email, have SPP or Infusionsoft just send
yeah,
these things out as things are done because that SPP allows us to send things based on as things are happening, right?
yeah. I mainly meant which channel would you rather they be on?
It's whatever. I'd say put it on I wouldn't put it on, Dennis Yu or Dylan Haugen. And I kind of don't want to put it on Blitzmetrics because I'm trying to shut that brand down. Um,
I have
yeah,
that other
we
channel.
should put it under we should put it under whoever's making that video. Because
Okay.
if it's coming from me, then put it under my, that way it feels like it's coming from that person, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do we want them public or unlisted?
I think it works either way.
All right. Yeah, I
I
think
mean,
maybe if it's you, we probably want to stay on brand with the current channel you have and kind of stick to that stuff. Maybe,
Yeah, unlisted is probably better because then, because I'm thinking when would people need to see it? Probably only two situations. One is when they're actually going through the process of building their site and all that. And number
yeah,
two is when they're trying to understand, do I want to do this? Do I understand what has to happen? And they're investigating these steps
yeah,
along the way. They can watch. We don't mind sharing. This is what will happen. You can take a look at it in advance.
yeah.
Then we
I do think
embed
some
those
of them,
unlisted in a web. Yeah, the videos would be unlisted, but embedded in web pages. So
yes, yeah.
no one's going to go to the YouTube channel and just watch all these trigger videos. Like, what's the point of that?
Yeah, I do think some of them, like you were mentioning earlier, like the, oh, like, if you get a personal brand website, like this is kind of a long-term thing, like kind of like the benefits of it, talking about that. And we can all kind of like integrate that into the content that we're already making. Like, I've been putting up those videos on what is technically my agency channel, need to rename the thing and all that.
Mhm.
Once we already get that going. And then obviously, you during your podcast and stuff like that, you can also say, just randomly mention it here and there, like, oh, also for knowledge panels, like we do this personal brand site and kind of weave that into what you're already talking about. I think that's a good way to go about it. Link to it in the description and all that. But
I think you should set a date, Dylan, for the launch of this thing. And that way everyone can, there's buzz around the launch date. And then we have a webinar on that day that we get people to register for. And the webinar can
okay.
be, let's build your personal brand together, or how to build a personal brand site that triggers a knowledge panel, or something like that, right?
All
And
right.
what happens in a webinar that's a sales webinar, which is called the perfect webinar format, is we have 60 minutes of education where we're showing how to do it, give away the guides and all that kind of stuff. And then at the end of that, we say, oh, and we have a special. If you sign up now, in the next 30 minutes, then here's a deal, right? And the deal could be like the price is $30 a month, but if you sign up now, you can have a one-on-one session with one of us and we'll help you configure it, but only for the first 100 people that sign up, right? Or I mean, it could be whatever it is, right? Oh, we'll give you the dollar a day course, valued at $495 because once you build a website, you're going to want to promote the website to sell whatever it is you're trying to sell. So we'll just include that bonus for free if you sign up. And so then you spend the next 30 minutes answering questions while the 30-minute countdown is there. And we're like, oh, thank you, Sam, for purchasing. Good job, Dylan. Glad you signed up. And oh, we've got 32 people that have bought. We have 12 minutes left, right? We'll keep answering questions until the clock runs down, right? And after that, you can just sign up at whatever, personalbrandwebsite.com or one of the URLs that we have. But that way people have incentive to sign up then because we have a special. I mean, it's already cheap
Mhm.
at $1 a day. I mean, how many special? Costco doesn't have to have
Yeah.
that, you know? But then we can get a whole bunch of people and run ads $1 a day to attend our webinar. And it's just really cool when you have, a couple hundred people or a few hundred people live in a webinar. And we have a Zoom account that allows us to do that, which we've not done a webinar for like over a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds
So
good.
then just set a date for the webinar, prepare all these things, make sure the checkout flow works. Whatever the bonus is, make sure we're able to include that in the package.
Yeah.
Test it out so that the flows are working. Landing, obviously the product pages and all this stuff won't be perfect, but it'll be good enough to launch